I want to talk to you guys tonight about feeling like you haven't had your breakthrough yet. I know that we've had a lot of conversations lately I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of you guys who say, I feel like I'm doing a lot of the things. I feel like I'm showing up. I feel like I'm posting. I feel like I'm on Zooms. I feel like I'm growing and it's just not clicking yet. And so I want to talk to you tonight about that because me as your leader, almost 3.5 years in, to say that I haven't felt moments like that would be a lie, right? And so put in the chat, like, how long have you been here? That's my first question. I've been here since June 1st, 2018. And I'm not going to open the conversation with you guys tonight and say that because you've been here the longest means you've grown the furthest or you've gone the furthest. That does not mean anything in this business. The amount of time that you've been here has nothing to do with how much you've grown. October 31st, 2020, April 2020, little over a month and a half, Kristen. Yes. So have you ever felt like quitting? Is my second question. And my third question is, have you ever felt like you're breakthroughless? Like everybody else is experiencing these breakthroughs and this growth and this momentum in their business, and you feel stuck. You feel like you haven't had that yet. I absolutely have felt like quitting multiple times. I absolutely have felt like there's been moments where I haven't had my breakthrough yet. I've also had moments where I felt like I did have my breakthrough. And then we went through like a 6-month time frame where it was like we're knocked back down again. And then we have to posture our heart differently in our business and learn to stay the path whenever you find that momentum, whenever you find that heart posture that you need in your business, to be able to say, you know what, it's always been me against me, right? And that's who you're fighting. And instead of focusing on what everybody else is doing and the person that's re-ranking or the person that's ranking up for the first time or the person that's hitting their VIPs, and maybe you didn't, the person that seems to sell 29 samples and you can barely get one out the door, right? It's very easy to get into that mindset of, well, what does she have that I don't have? Or how come I've been here longer? Right? I've been here longer and she's producing all these results. Like, what's the difference? Right. And listen, you guys, we work on social media. Okay. We work on social media, and sometimes that creates a false sense of panic because you go into this comparison mode where you are comparing each other and you see maybe somebody else posts like what they're making in their paycheck or how many enrollments they have. But really, like, the reality is this is just all visible to you now, versus when you were an employee and you work a job, you don't know what your coworker makes. You don't know their salary. You don't know like you don't know what their education, you don't know anything about them, right? And it's all kept, like, you guys are all kept on a level playing field. But then you get into network marketing and it's like, keep up with the Joneses, right? It's like, you've got to have the fancy car and have the nice house, and you've got to provide, like, what's the word? You feel like you need to like show up. You feel like you need to prove a point. You feel like you need to be able to have that car payment each month to be able to actually start talking about the business. And that couldn't be further from the truth. And so when you feel like you're not enough in this business, it's because a lot of the times it's because you haven't actually taken a moment in a while to actually look behind you and see how far you've come. Right. And remember who the F you are, because there was a point in time where you prayed for the moment that you're sitting in right now, even though right now you might be feeling like it's not enough, and you might be feeling like your enrollments are down, and you might be feeling like your tracker isn't as high as it once was. Well, guess what? Your faith wasn't what it is now. Your relationships haven't been what they are now. Your confidence wasn't what it is now. And there was a time, write this down. Like, what did you pray for? What did you ask for? Did you ask to be able to be a little bit more confident, to be able to show up on my video a little bit better? Right? Did you ask, were you always in the moment? Because I remember when I first started my business, I was like, oh my God, if I could just thrive for free, if I could just thrive for free, oh my God, that would be everything. Right. And then it was like, oh, if I could just earn a paycheck, just a paycheck. I don't care what it is, just a paycheck every single Tuesday. I want to get to the point where I'm consistently earning a paycheck every single Tuesday. And then you get to the point where you're earning that paycheck and you're thriving for free. Maybe you're thriving for free on your spouse account or your second account. Maybe you are confident in going live. There's all these things that you're missing out of your business, all the growth that you've had to this point, that sometimes you just need to check yourself. Like, I know I tell you guys, you got to check yourself in the mirror, but you also need to check yourself behind you and turn around and look how far you've come. Okay. I wrote down here, all the things, right? We asked for an opportunity. We're given an opportunity, right? We ask for weekly pay. We're given an opportunity to grow. We ask for promoter. We ask for a team. We ask for leadership, and we're given opportunities to step into that leadership with other people and learn ourselves how to be that leader, right? Whether that means that person joins you and they go VIP, or they join you and they leave. Either way, you've grown in the process, right? And so we get wrapped into, oh, well, I brought this person in and they didn't do anything. That doesn't mean it's a wash. That means you grew in the process. You picking up what I'm putting down here? We wanted to thrive for free. We wanted a good group of friends, right? Maybe we wanted a chance at a better life. You have to remember those moments. This is why I write them down in my phone, for the moments that feel really hard to me right now, because I know that I'll get to a point where that stuff will be irrelevant. That stuff won't be a daily in my life anymore. And I'll need to remind myself, and I'll have to have a gut check, and I'll have to look behind myself and say, Amber, look how far you've come, right? You've retired the pink shoes. You're no longer eating dinner at a microwave, under microwave light. And you actually have created a life where you have more family dinners, where you can actually have Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving Day, right? It's those moments. So don't get so wrapped up in what you don't have right now, that you're posturing your heart differently in your business. And what I mean is, you're focused on what you don't have. You don't have somebody in your inbox. You don't have a sample going out this week. You don't have X, Y, or Z, but you have sold samples before. You have enrolled promoters before. You have grown in this business. You have become more confident. All of these things, you've become stronger in your faith. What is it that you can write down that you're like, you know what, this business has given me this. This business has brought me closer to God. This business has brought me closer to some of these women that are just, the relationships are such a higher caliber relationship than any friendship I ever thought I had, right? Or any coworker I ever thought like I had a good friend. What has this business provided you beyond financial? Beyond financial. Still show up packing my samples. Yes, it happens. It happens. And I have had a little kind of like change of heart in my business too, where so I'm reading this book right now. And like I've told you guys before, anything that I do does not mean that you have to do it. It's just something I'm testing the waters for myself, because I am reading this book. It's called The Illusion of Money. And it's basically, what energy are you carrying around money? But it's not specifically derived around money. It's around abundance in your life. And what is that heart posture? What is that energy that you attach to certain things? And so he talks about money a little bit in here, but it's kind of like that saying that's like, you know, if you don't believe that you can sign a promoter, why would God send you somebody that wants to join your business? Right? Because you're not putting out that energy on your post, on your live videos, on your stories, if you're even doing them in the first place, right? You're not putting that energy that you're confident in leading somebody else, because in your heart, you're not confident in leading somebody else. That's just like a small example. Why would your business grow? Right? Same thing with samples, same thing with customers, same thing, it stays true for everything. But sometimes we get so tied to that lack, that scarcity, that we show up in a different way. And so I've decided to try something a little bit different with my samples, and I'm offering free 1-day samples, and we're going to see how that goes. Just a free 1 day. And then I'm opening up the conversation for a 3-day after that. So we'll see how that goes. But I wanted to, take a look at how I was posturing my heart, my business. Because for the longest time, our products are gold. Don't get me wrong. They are worth $25. And if you need that $25 right now in your bank account, you sell that sample for $25 right now. Okay. And you put that towards whatever bill you need. But I'm in a point in my business where I am paying off debt, and I do have the majority of my bills on auto pay. And I wanted to release that feeling of I have to make $25 or I have to like sell all these samples. Like it was like crunch time for me. And I, as your leader, have not gotten out a sample in a hot minute. Right. And so I was like, you know what, let me just release that a little bit and see what that energy does. Just kind of releasing that energy. And I have a couple of them going out the door this week. And so I urge you to kind of like think about that in your business whenever you're thinking about going live or selling samples, or, even just showing up for your business, right? How are you doing it? Are you doing it in a way where it's like, hey, I'm going to flash my capsules and hope somebody that buys from me? Or are you doing it in a way where you can actually provide value to somebody else, and you can maybe be that little spark of energy on your newsfeed, or dance around with your capsules or whatever, do a funny reel, or you can get down to business and say, listen, I haven't had coffee in 3 years and this is why I feel so good, right? How are you speaking to hearts from your heart? Do not forget that you're not the same person. You're not the same person from October 31st, 2020, from April of 2020. You're not the same person. You've grown, you've learned a lot of shit, and you've evolved along the way. Okay. And so don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to share with them that you have grown, right? Don't be afraid to put up a side by side and say, listen, this was my first post and this is me now. Like, I'm such a different person. I used to not be confident. I used to not believe in this industry. I used to be a network marketing, like MLM burnout, right? Because I've been through so many different companies, but like, look at me now. I'm growing. I'm on a path to success. I'm seeing that growth in my business, but also like in myself internally. Right? That's the kind of person that somebody's going to want to join in this business. Not somebody who posts about their capsules when there's a sale going on and then they're quiet and they don't even show up on social media for like 3 days. Right? Or they come on and they're like, sorry, you guys, life has been hard. Like I've been MIA. Listen, you've been MIA for yourself. Don't apologize in the team chat. Don't apologize on your social media, because quite honestly, like your social media doesn't care that you've been MIA for 3 days, right? What they care about is the fact that you're still going, the fact that you are going through hard times and you're showing them how you can do something that matters so much to you, versus when life gets hard and you just peace out for 3 days, then it really didn't mean that much to you, right? That's the kind of the vibe they get from you on social media. So don't be afraid to show them who you are and that you've grown and that you've evolved. The most important thing that you can do sometimes is just to not stop. And I wrote this down: without acknowledging how far you've come, you cannot acquire the strength to get to where you want to go. Because where you want to go is actually going to take strength. It's actually going to take grit. It's actually going to take a different person. And I feel like sometimes we say that and you don't understand that, but you'll understand that when you get to that next level. You'll understand that whenever you have to posture your heart differently to be able to handle somebody differently in your business. Hold on. And handle somebody differently in your business means not putting up with negativity and not dwelling in scarcity and lack and I can't sell a sample and oh my God, like I don't even know what to post and like all these things, right? How are you going to handle when somebody comes into your business and they need help with a lot of stuff that you haven't unpacked yourself yet as a leader, because you maybe still are not confident. Maybe you still have that heart posture on the inside where you don't know if you're capable of doing it. You don't know if you can lead a Zoom. You don't know if you could do a work with me. You don't know if, you know, all these things, if you could be a leader. I mean, can you imagine? I'm not trying to scare you guys. Your girl's not going anywhere. But my upline left. She's back. I'm not under her. But my upline left and your girl didn't quit. But if I left and I was gone, would your business still be here? And that's a hard question, because sometimes we lean so much on our leadership and we lean so much on the team page and we get so lazy, right? I used to throw so many people in opportunity events that were happening every Thursday, and I would lean on my leadership as a crutch, and I would lean on sending different opportunity events that other leaders had done before I actually got uncomfortable and did it myself, right? I didn't actually start leading Zooms until I was a 4K leader, right? But can you imagine if I had started showing up before I was ready? If I had started showing up and doing opportunity events before I even knew really how to talk about the business, right? Like, you just write down, like, put some bullet points down. What do you love about the business? What's something that you can talk about right now that's easy for you to talk about? Maybe you used to be the girl that used to put Christmas on a credit card, right? Maybe this business gives you hope. Maybe this business gives you like a North Star in such a crazy time as this, that you have an opportunity to do something to be able to earn that income from your phone without having to leave your family. What is it that you can step into that you feel like you're not ready yet? If you had to answer that in the chat, what would you put? Something that you're just like, I don't know if I can do that yet, right? Would it be a work with me? Do we need to do weekly work with me's, you guys? A work with me. Does it need to be opportunity events? Do you need practice in talking about the business? Yeah. Do you need practice in leading one of these Zooms on Mondays? Do you need to feel that? Do you need to feel what it's like to be able to help lift somebody else up? Because listen, these Zooms aren't just for you guys. These Zooms are for me too. A lot of times when I'm talking to you guys and I'm telling you like what I feel like we need to grow in, I need to grow in it too, right? I'm a very humble leader, and I will always tell you, like, I had a slow growing season, but I had a slow growing season for a reason, right? And I know what I'm building is a strong ass foundation, and I know I'm not going anywhere, and I know where I came from, and I refuse to go back. And it's kind of like we've said before, like once you get past that little break in the current, where if you go to the beach, it's like a little undertow, right? It's like it's really crashes right there, kind of like at your ankle knee area. And then once you get out past your waist, the waves don't hit as hard. They're humongous, right? But you just kind of like float over them. Once you get past the point where the waves aren't crashing on top of you anymore, and the fear and the doubt and the insecurities in your business, and you realize it's just you against you, it's like being out in the water and no storm, no big waves. Like, you know that you're going to be able to handle it, and you know that you're not going anywhere, right? And you show up differently, and you have that different heart posture in your business. I wrote, you won't have the answers, but you have to trust yourself enough to find them, right? I used to get so overwhelmed with feeling like I had to know every ingredient. I had to know every product. I had, especially as a nurse, people ask me a lot of weird questions. They think I know everything about these products, and I don't. But I had to get over that, right? Especially the people that have medical problems. They're like, hey, is this okay if I take this? And I had to just get like super blunt and be like, listen, here's the PDF to get to your doctor, right? Like, that's not my liability. I'm not putting that on me. And we cannot make medical claims, right? But I had that guilt for a long time, and it held me back in my conversations. And if you look back at some of my conversations, you're like, Amber, You literally just spilled off the entire website to her, and no wonder she didn't talk to you back, right? You told her everything, and she just asked you about weight loss, and you were talking B12. Like, why are you doing that to yourself? Because I felt insecure around the products. I felt insecure about talking about it. I felt insecure about the business because I was insecure in the customer aspect of it. But guess what? It comes with practice. It's not something that you're just going to podcast your way to great leadership or podcast your way to being able to be more confident in your business. Does daily development help? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll tell you, you cannot afford to go a day without self-development. You can't. Do you know why? Because you can't afford to go back to where you came from. You cannot afford to lose yourself again, because you found yourself in this business. I can guarantee you that. In some shape or form, you found yourself. There's a reason why you stay here. People stay where they're loved. People stay where they're growing. And you cannot afford to lose yourself again. But you don't look at your business that way. You look at your business like you're being annoying. Like they don't want to hear about your capsules again today, or they don't want to see you go live about your business again today. Well, guess what? There's going to be a different person on your live video tomorrow, right? Facts. Yes. Oh my God, Jennifer, I used to word vomit all the time. Kristen, word vomiting is normal in the very beginning. It comes with time, right? And what I'll say about word vomiting real quick before we move on, I don't have a lot more tonight because I don't want to keep you too long. I wanted to keep this short. When it comes to word vomiting on people, it's because you're showing your insecurity. And the first thing you need to do to avoid word vomiting is to actually listen to the person. Don't listen to your brain that's telling you that you need to sign a promoter and you need to sign a customer and you need to get a sample out because you haven't had a sample out in 2 months. And oh my God, your business is going to crumble if you don't get this person to sign up today. No. Your business isn't going anywhere if your mindset tells you it's not going anywhere. Am I right? Right. You have to listen to the person and what they need. And then it's okay if you don't answer right away. It's okay if you reach back to your leadership. It's okay if you reach to the chat and you say, you guys, this person's looking for X, Y, or Z. What would be the best recommendation, right? Because we're not going to give her the whole website. We're going to give her our best recommendation and move forward. And that's it. And she will come to you with more questions. If you give her your best recommendation for what she's looking for, you make her feel heard, make her feel understood, and you know what she's asking, and you're very specific with what you're recommending for her and why you recommend it, she'll ask you more questions and the conversation will stay open. Let's see. Whenever I put here, I put, you know, you're not going to have the answers, but trust yourself enough to find them. A lot of that looks like trusting yourself enough to like just be honest with yourself when things aren't working, and that maybe you need to change it up a little bit, and that maybe you need to pour your heart out a little bit more on your social media. Maybe you need to come undone a little bit and not be so much product and business, but like be a little bit more you. Share a little bit more of the uncomfortable things, right? I don't like talking about the fact that I don't like being a nurse. I don't like that because I get a lot of negativity with that. But you know what? I'm postured enough to handle it, right? And I'm called here for a reason. And I feel like for me, that's my power place. As much as I'm uncomfortable to talk about it, Like, I don't know how much I can relate to the stay-at-home mom, right? I love you guys. I know some of you guys stay home, but my power place is in talking about the fact that, hey, that's my story. Like, I have a career. I had like 40 grand in debt because of it. And I think that college might be the biggest scam because it doesn't prepare you for anything. And the thing that people think is the biggest scam in the world, it's actually been the biggest fucking blessing because of who I became in the process and who I can build in the process. Can we just talk about that for a second? Can we just clap for a second to the girl who's about to join your team and you're about to build her up? Like, you're about to take this woman who's broken. She don't even know it's coming, right? She don't even know it's coming. And she's got these arms that are about to wrap around her. And you're about to embrace her and tell her she's worthy and she's enough. And girl, you've got this. And girl, stand up. And girl, let's do this together. Girl, you've got a whole community. I know you feel like your life is falling apart, but we're about to build it up brick by brick together, right? Like, people don't even know. People don't even know. They're just floundering around in the world, doing what everybody else says to do, whatever they think that everybody would like to see them do, so that they make everybody else happy, so that they keep the peace, right? But internally, there ain't no peace. Internally, you've got people who hate their job. Internally, you've got people who feel like they're not enough, who can't unpack the baggage, the childhood trauma, all the bad relationships, the abuse, the debt, the everything. I guarantee you, somebody might not have been me, and I'm okay with that, but somebody on this team, Katie, Lindsay, Brielle, any of these leaders, somebody helped you unpack something. Am I right? I know I am. I had to unpack my shit too. I did. But if you get what I'm saying, this is the posture you have to have in your business, that you know what you've got your hands on. Yeah, our products are cool. Yeah, our products are amazing. Yeah, they freaking work, right? They're really, really high quality. There's a reason why they work. But you can't put hands on this business, right? You cannot match our leadership. You cannot match our team. You cannot match what we're doing here in the long game. Okay? You just can't. Let's see. I put on here, do not entertain the delusion that your gift stops now. Because here's the thing. You will get to a point, you might not be here right now, but you will get to a point where you feel like you've accomplished the thing that you set out to accomplish. You are going to go 4K at some point. You are going to go 12K. You are going to earn that car bonus. You are going to check off things on your vision board. You are going to put your bills on auto pay. You are going to pay off the debt. You are going to get off of government assistance. There are these things that will happen if you stay long enough to let them happen. There's going to be these things that happen, okay? But when you mark it off, don't be like me and sit in fear, overwhelm. Oh my God, how do I do this again? I sat there. I know that at least one other person has done this before too, where you sit there after you accomplish a goal and you're like, oh my God, like, how do I even do that again? I don't know. What's my identity now? How do I be that person? I don't know if I was ready for that. I don't know, right? All these things. I'm not trying to call you out, Harriet, but I love your ass. But you get to this place where you feel like, okay, well, I did it. Now what? I did it. Like, my gift stops here, right? No, your gift doesn't stop here. This business, do you know what it is? It's so beautiful. I'm sorry for cussing so much. I'm trying not to say the F word, but do you know what this business is? It's arriving and leaving at the same time, right? because you get to that goal, you get to 4K, you get to 12K, you earn that trip, you pay off your debt, you whatever, right? You get there, and right when you cross the finish line, you're on the starting block of the next goal, right? And it's this ever evolving process. It's like passing the torch, right? And when you get to that goal, you are, think about it this way. Woo, chills. Okay. You are literally passing the torch to a new woman, to the woman who overcame those fears, overcame those doubts. She stepped up, she battled her demons, she battled her insecurities, and you cannot pass the torch backwards. You can't, right? Just like I said, you cannot afford to give up on you. You cannot afford to lose yourself again. You pass that torch and you're on to the next thing in this business. And you have to have the courage to do that, or you'll be stuck for a very long time. You'll be stuck feeling like you're an imposter, like you weren't ready for that goal, like you didn't deserve that goal, and it wasn't meant to be, and maybe you can't actually do this business, and right? All these heavy things, all these heavy feelings that we have. But you're always arriving and leaving simultaneously. Let's see, I don't have a lot here left. I'm just going to read what I have. I put, some of you have lost momentum in relation to your North Star, and what you need to do is actually learn how to show back up again. There is no game plan. There is no accountability partner. You guys know how I feel about accountability partners. And when you come into the chat and you're like, I'm sorry, I've been MIA, like, apologize to yourself, because some of us never stopped. Right. And I'm not about to take on your guilt for your business because you stopped showing up for you. We love you. We will pick you up. We will pick up the pieces. We will pick up and right where you left off. Right. But you're not going to bring us backwards. Right. So if you ever get to a point where you feel like you need a game plan, or you feel like you need an accountability partner, I love you. I love you. But don't come in the chat and say, I'm sorry for being MIA, right? Just be like, you guys, I'm committed now. You guys, I'm ready to do this. What's your best advice? You guys, I'm going to need help. You guys, I need help with mindset. I need a recommendation for a book. What are some ideas I can do for going live, for getting back into my business? How do you guys overcome X, Y, or Z in your business? What are your biggest tips on blank, right? Get back into the community. That's the biggest, best thing that you can do for your business, is to stay close to the fire. You will only know that when you drift away. When you drift away from the fire and you come back and you feel it, then you'll realize why it's so important. You will. Let's see. The last thing I put here is, no one can leap a mountain, anybody can climb a rock. And so what that means, stop it. What that means is, stop focusing on the big thing. Stop focusing on 12K. Stop focusing on 200K. Stop focusing on all these humongous things you want to do. Should they be on your vision board? Absolutely, they should be on your vision board. But then you should be breaking it down. What does that mean? What is the timeline that you've given yourself that you would like to accomplish your goal in? And what does that mean that you can break it down into little bite-sized pieces, right? You cannot go leap a mountain, but anybody, a monkey, can climb a freaking rock, right? Anybody can lay a brick. Anybody can start the momentum in their business. Not everybody will keep it. Okay? The most important thing you can do is take care of this right here. Okay? I love you guys. We're going to hop off. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Psyched myself out so bad I haven't ranked 4K again since March. And that's heavy to carry around. That's heavy to carry around, because guess what? There were months where we didn't re-rank to 12K either. And I know what you're feeling. And yes, you're here. And yes, you never stopped. But when you posture your heart that way in your business, feeling like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know. Right. I'm doing all the things. I'm still doing reels. I'm still going live. I'm still posting, but are you doing it just like mimicking what you see everybody else do, which sometimes is okay, right? Because I do it too, where I'll mimic like a reel that somebody else does, but I'll notice like the energy that went behind it was just me checking off the list, kind of like we talked about last week. Versus if I get into a good energy and I get into a good space and I create something myself, then it's totally different. It's a totally different vibe. It's a totally different, why is my boss texting me at 8:30 at night? It's a totally different energy that you give off, right? And so you have to step into that energy because you are not me. You are not Karen. I am not Harriet. We are not each other. We are so beautifully different, right? I can't talk about cars, right? I can't, like, there's certain things that just aren't me, right? And I love that. I love that, right? If we were all the same, like little robots, how boring of a tribe would we have, right? Stepping into your own power place. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, sometimes the most powerful thing that you can do is kind of pray on it a little bit, I feel, and just ask for guidance. But if you're asking for guidance and you're asking for strength and you're asking for wisdom, you need to be prepared for the test. Because it's not just going to come, right? It's going to come in that promoter who joins you, who needs a lot of work, right? And test your patience a little bit, test your nerves a little bit. The person who stays here a little bit and then they're like, you know what? You aren't the leader that I thought you were, right? Yeah. How are you going to posture your heart in your business then? How are you going to posture your heart in your business when people are attacking you? When people are trying to bring you down? When people are trying to tell you, hey, you know what? Like what you're doing, like that's going to take a really long time to do. Okay. It's going to be a lot faster than you sitting on your couch, right? You have to be fully in, fully immersed in this business. You know, my husband sees it all the time. He's like, you love what you do. I'm like, yes, I freaking do. And he tells me all the time, like, I don't even know where he gets it. I think it's because he's in the fire department, but he's like, why don't you just go back to the ED? I'm like, oh, shame on you for saying that. Like, don't ever wish that upon anybody. But I think like in his mind, like I felt really smart when I was working those jobs, when I was in the intensive care and I worked in the ICU and I worked in the ED, but like I hated life, right? He's going to go blind. Yeah, I would rather go blind, boy. Yes, I would. But like, you know, people have this just like, they just have this vision of you. And then you go build something totally different. And you're like, no, this is who I am. Right? No, I am confident. I am woman. Hear me roar. I'm building a team. I am helping people learn to grow in their confidence, grow in their faith, grow, outgrow. They're outgrowing while they're growing. They're outgrowing their insecurities. They're outgrowing their fear and their doubts. They're blossoming into totally different people. You cannot put a price on that, right? No, I don't make nurse money yet, but this fulfills me. Being right here with you guys fulfills me so much more than I've ever been fulfilled. God, I can't even say I've been fulfilled clocking in and clocking out, right? You can't put a price on it when somebody says you've changed my life. You can't. And you know what Harriet told me? You know, Harriet and I went to conference real quick and I'll let you guys go. We went to conference in May, and I might call you out a little bit here, Harriet, but we went to conference in May. You know what she said? She said, next year they're going to know my name. Right? Who's planning on going to conference next year? Right? Even if you're not, will your social media know your name? Are you showing who you are? Or are you going to cower it out when things get hard and not show up for your business for 3 days and be super inconsistent? You're going to lose the trust of your audience so fast. This is why when people bounce around, they have that huge guilt, right? I feel like when they bounce around from company to company is because they're completely losing the trust with their audience every single time, because they've always been just half in. What would it look like if you're all in? What would it look like? Better yet, what would it feel like? Right? And make them feel it. Make them feel it. There's no reason to not be all in. You've got all of us to help you unpack your baggage. You've got the whole team to help you unpack your baggage. If you still feel heavy, if you still feel like you're weighed down, if you still feel like you've got stuff to work on, can we talk about it? Can we talk about it in the chat? Can you talk about with me personally? I will always open up my inbox for you guys, even if you're not my personally enrolled, right? Let's talk about it so we can move forward. You can't keep sitting in that chapter. You can't. I won't let you. Okay. I love you guys. Bye.